Hello, and welcome back to some Lightworker Tarot today with your host Carmilla, per usual. Alright, so today we'll be getting into some messages from our higher selves. So our higher selves being the direct link or the funnel of information from source to our human bodies. So for me, and what in my understanding of the higher self is just the higher self that helps you plan and work through your future. So your higher self can see what's unfolding for you in your highest good, and your higher self is helping to bring things into your current now presence in order for you to work towards or work through, some things in order to accomplish what it is in this life that you were meant to accomplish. So it's like that direct link or that funnel, that energetic line between you and source and spirit. It's just you are source, you are divinity, you are spirit, but our higher self is even more confirmation and even more security and reinforcement into that knowing. So our higher selves allows us to melt into that knowing of our divinity and of the magic and the beauty of this universe. You commune with your higher self all the times, especially when you are making decisions based on intuition, especially when you are inside and you're deciding amongst a whole bunch of options and you're playing devil's advocate and you're putting this here and you're putting this there. Your higher self is always there helping to communicate with you what needs to be communicated and just giving you a broader sense of what is happening. So our higher selves are cool pieces of our consciousness, and they have messages for us today. So I want to deliver those. So we actually do have a web today, which I was actually really surprised about. It seems like our web is talking a lot about gaining new perspectives and seeing all sides of a situation or seeing all sides of ourselves in order for us to become our best selves, the best versions of ourselves. And we are already that, but you know what that means for you. What is the best version of you? What is you living at optimal life, enjoying and experiencing optimal life? Like what does that mean to you? So I feel like that is what our web is about today. So let me go ahead and show you those cards. So our Chakra wisdom card for this reading, our collective reading, is the 6th chakra, third eye chakra with wisdom and discernment. Now I truly feel that what is happening here with our higher selves helping us open up to wisdom and discernment in a higher sense, in a higher way, in a more like metaphysical way. So go ahead and pause that and read it. I feel like it'll be very beneficial. I feel guided to read this passage here, or this piece here. I trust in a higher source to guide me and to help others who ask for my guidance. That I feel like is a big thing. That's like the number one thing here with this card that's coming through from our higher selves. So go ahead and pause and read that though, if you didn't get a chance to, because I was rambling. And then we actually have Whispers of the Ocean cards today. And I pulled these cards based on like what advice. So the process that you're undergoing, which we'll get into that card a little later, the process that you're currently undergoing in order to connect with your higher self in a clearer sense. So I pulled the Whispers of the Oceans card basically asking for advice on what that may be for each individual pile. And for our collective, we got these seeing both sides. We have take a step back and try looking at this from a different perspective. Now, the reason why I showed the Whispers of the Oceans first is because for the process cards, I pulled Lightworker Oracle, because I feel like every single human being is a light worker. We're all playing a role in uncovering our deepest sense of radiance. So there were 3 cards that actually came out for the web, and 2 of them I don't have to show, but the bottom deck I will. So bottom deck we got 11, messages in numbers. Now the reason why I feel guided to show this card is because this card is mainly talking about synchronicity in our lives, us singing up and stepping into our highest alignment with source energy, spirit, us uncovering our ancient wisdom, uncovering clarity and understanding the magic of the universe, understanding that the universe is not random, nothing is random, everything is in divine order. That's why I showed that card. And the two other cards that were present were number 7 with Unplug from Mass Consciousness. And then we also had number 23 with Initiation by Water. And the reason why I want to mention those two cards is because I feel like it's important to understand that currently we are stepping into the Aquarian age and out of the Piscean age. And what is happening is we're shedding a lot of the conditioning and a lot of the duality and dualness that came with the Piscean age. So it's interesting how we had seeing both sides with this understanding of what we're doing right now is stepping out of the Piscean age, and we're honoring wholeness, and we're stepping out of duality. And when I say stepping out of duality, what I mean by that is we're bridging the gap between our two dual spaces, or our half brain, or our halfness, or either or consciousness. Basically, our either or consciousness is being completely rehauled and reframed. So I feel like it was super important to make sure you notice that. And with the 1111, it's definitely, basically, this card is basically saying everything is in divine order, all is well, all is aligned. Which brings me to our next card. We pulled some Amenti Oracle today, and I channeled these messages basically saying, what is the law of Ma'at that each pile needs? So each pile got a card. But for our collective, the collective message for us all, or the law of Ma'at that we got, was embrace the all, and also under that, I do good. And I felt like it was very important to show both of these cards. I embrace the all, which makes total sense when it comes to this message that I was receiving of us stepping out of duality and into wholeness, and embracing the all, and I do good. And I honestly feel like, especially with the imagery of that card, I do good is talking about pouring into your own self, healing and revitalizing your own self, so that can be reflected to the world out of you. There's this understanding that whatever you get, you get, or whatever you receive is what you're putting back into the world. And unfortunately, because of how challenging the Piscean age has been, because of where we are in this larger cycle, a lot of us have been receiving, karmic justice, and we've been paying for things that were done in past lives and things like that. And it's really hard to hold on to that and to embody that understanding, but it is true in the sense of, if you're here listening to this reading, that is probably going to resonate with you. A lot of the stuff that has been happening in your life has been, karmic patterns being overhauled, just some things that had to happen karmically in order for the balance within your own self and within your own piece of soul, your own divinity, to be balanced, because we're all in this collective together, trying to balance this beautiful collective quilt, that we're all making together and we're creating together. Which brings me to the next card, our Moonology card, which is, it's time to release negativity with full moon in Scorpio, which makes total sense to me. This is definitely talking about releasing the past, restoring the balance, releasing our fears, releasing doubt and disappointment. And basically, when I say release, I mean reframe. We're reframing it and we're giving it a new, healthier life, so that all of these energies work for us and we understand the role and the impact that these energies have in our lives. We wouldn't be where we are without those type of denser energies, and without us being able to understand the alchemy in order to cook it. So there's just a lot going on. However, last but certainly not least, we have Bee Spirit with Sweet Results Await from our Animal Spirit Oracle deck, which I'm super excited about, because I feel like this is basically saying that there is a light at the end of this tunnel. If you were ever worried about there not being one, you don't have to worry so much, because there's absolutely a light at the end of this tunnel, because what you're doing, again, is you're bridging wholeness, stepping out of this Piscean age, which we were undergoing. And we're shedding initiation by water. We're shedding, we're flowing, we're moving. And a lot of times that means a lot has to move out of you. A lot of emotions have to be expressed. A lot of truth has to be expressed. A lot just needs to move or flow out of your energetic field, into and out of your awareness. So that is why we're undergoing this initiation by water with the Piscean age. And then we have the water barrier, the Aquarius energy, which is also air energy, but the Aquarius energy with the water barrier also coming in to help soothe us through this shedding process. So that is our web today. That was a little lengthy, but I feel like truly, if you do watch this portion of the video, there was a message somewhere in there for you that's going to help your pile, your actual general reading, connect better with you. I honestly feel that way. The tarot, oh, that's so funny. The tarot deck we're going to be using today is the Osho Zen deck, and bottom deck just randomly is going with the flow. So that's really funny how that synchronicity is popping up, as they always do. But it's fun to always like recognize and like get giddy about the magic of the synchronicity. So anyway, long-winded, but there's somebody out there who will really appreciate that. So I'm here for you. So our piles today, we have 4 piles, and starting with number 1 over here with Tormi, our black tourmaline will be our number 1 today. And then we have our amethyst shard for group 2, Amy. And then for group 3, we have our selenite heart, which has seen better days. This heart has traveled with me for so many journeys. So this one stone has experienced so much adventure. So the nicks and dings that she has is very yeah, it makes sense. And then we have our honey calcite with group 4. I don't know if I mentioned that, but the heart is a selenite for group 3, selenite heart. So go ahead and do whatever witchy thing you need to do in order to get into the mood for your reading, and I, my friend, will see you there. Hello, group 1, for all of our friends who chose Tormi today for your message from your higher self. This will be your reading. So I'm super excited to dive into this. We have a lot of oracle cards to check in with, but we'll get into those a little later. Let's get into tarot and see what is the basic message that your higher self wants you to know right now. I feel like it's already brewing in my belly, like what it is. It's definitely something about like it's definitely something about like unclenching, like tapping into flow, which is, you probably hear this a lot. But your higher self is like, yeah, there's a reason why you hear this a lot. I honestly feel like it is. There's like this energy here already showing up of like, ooh, yeah, look at who's flipping out. So we have the Queen of Pentacles already flipping out with flowering. And then we have the 9 of Swords in reverse with sorrow. But we're going to get a couple more cards. But yeah, I feel like there's definitely some type of like flow that you're resisting for some whatever reason you resist flow for, and your higher self is just like, you wouldn't be in this situation that you are in if you would just allow a little more flow. Yep, we have the Devil coming out with conditioning, of course. Yep, that makes total sense to me. Because you're flowering. You are actually like budding and blossoming and doing all these beautiful things, and you don't really like give yourself that much space to see it because you are afraid of like missing out on something, or like you're afraid of like having to do it all again or going back. So what you're trying to do, what I see you trying to do is you're trying to your higher self is saying you're trying to leave no stone unturned, but you're turning over stones we've turned 1,000,000 times. That's what I see your like higher self in you, like in this like field of just pebbles and rocks, and you're like stuck on this one rock, and your higher self is like trying to point you to another rock, like, ooh, look at this rock over here, let's look at this one. But you're like, but this one, I you know, like you're trying to like make sense of this rock. Like, why does the rock look this way? Why does it feel this way? Why does it smell this way? Like you're trying to like make sense of this one element but there's so many others around that you can see and that you can tap into. And it's mainly because there's a fixation, and I feel like there's a fixation. The fixation here is because you want to be right. The fixation here is because you don't want to have to come back and do it all over again. So your fear is that if there is one piece of rot, okay, that's it. Like, you are so fixated on cleaning it out because you want to make sure that you got all of the grossness out, because one apple can, you know, spoil a whole bunch. So that is the energy that you're on, but your higher self is just like that, like don't worry so much about what can or cannot be spoiled, because death, or not even death, but like life and rebirth, it has its own cycle. And like there's this energy here of like micromanaging that your higher self is trying to pull you out of, because the micromanaging seems like it's causing a lot of pain and discomfort for you, and it's because of this conditioning that's attached to it. There's like some conditioning that's attached to it, like almost like a perfectionism, or like wanting to be someone else. Like you're like trying really hard to like be someone else. Let me see what that message is about. Trying so hard to be someone else. You're trying really hard to be someone else because you think the person that you are isn't efficient enough or effective enough. So what that means is you are trying to be someone who, like, you're trying to cover all bases. But this feels very unsustainable in the sense that you're trying to be compassionate and kind and loving and careful when you think you should be, and not when it actually is needed. So what's funny is too, you might be someone who you're running into a lot of like people in your life who need something from you. This could be family, this could be friends, this could be these people are seeing you flower. Like, they intuitively know, but they don't know consciously, they know unconsciously. Sorry about that. These people are seeing you flower, and like I was saying, these people don't, like, it's not that these people know unconsciously, it's almost just like a natural, like, unconscious, like, attraction. It's just like, these people are being put in your awareness because the universe in your higher self want to show you where this type of behavior is unsustainable for someone like you. It seems like you want to help everybody, and you want to save everybody, and you want to show up for everybody because you have like such a huge, beautiful like essence about you, a huge, beautiful life force, and you know how much you can give. You know that you can give a lot, but you're not respecting how much you can receive and how much you can actually take, which is interesting how that just clicked in my brain, like how much you can take, how much you can receive, how much you can take, because it seems like there's a lot of people in need showing up in your awareness, and because these people are showing up in your awareness, it's mainly the universe trying to like back you into this corner and show you like, hey, do you see how unsustainable this is? If you want to be this compassionate Mother Teresa, save the whole entire world type energy, let me put people into your life who are going to show you that this is unsustainable. And it's fine to want to be helpful and healthy and compassionate. You don't have to prove that. You don't have to show that by giving $1 to every homeless person you meet, or giving time, space, and energy to everybody who proclaims that they need that from you. That's all. That's it. It's not always a need, basically. And also what happens too is when you are constantly feeding other people your perspective and your ideas, a lot of times you don't give people space to actually conjure up their own. So sometimes there are some people who just have to go through a deeper experience just like you have, in order for them to get to the other side of it. Because sometimes what I see happening here is this will turn into enabling. And what happens when you enable people is they always have this crutch, or they always have this something to fall back on, in a sense that they're afraid to hit rock bottom, or in the sense that if they always have this like safety net that is outside of themselves, they won't be challenged to push any further past their comfort zone. And I see you being that safety net for a lot of people. So I feel like some of the stones that you're unturning is your own like fear of not having a safety net, and your own fear of people not being kind and generous, especially you're with the Queen of Pentacles, which I feel like is you have a fear of people not being kind and not being generous, which could transform sometimes in your awareness as being extremely altruistic, extremely self-sacrificing to the point to where it is not extremely beneficial to yourself. And when it is beneficial to you, it's like you feel good about it, but there are other times where it does breed a level of resentment, where you're just like, oh no, I'm not a good person, and this and this and this is happening because I'm not a good person, which is completely a lie, let me tell you. And it's like your higher self laughs at you every time you say that, because it's just like, you're so silly. You're so silly. So I'm pulling some more cards to see what we have going on here. Yep, this all makes complete sense to me. So we have Courage coming out, which is basically the Strength card in the Osho Zen deck. And then we have Rebirth, the Ten of Swords. Oh, and I love how you have both of the lions here, which is really, really beautiful. It's like you are rebirthing this devil energy, like you are stepping out of this like level of awareness into a higher level of existence, which is the Magician. So that makes complete total sense to me. And let's see what bottom deck is for you. Oh, Two of Pentacles with Moment to Moment. Yeah, that makes total sense. What I see happening here for you is your higher self is basically saying you're undergoing this process of a rebirth. You're undergoing this process of reaching a higher level of existence. And that's why it feels like a lot of a stretch to you, because partially it seems very illogical. It seems very like metaphysical and woo-woo. And you don't really know how to what's the word? You don't really know how to like feel about it, because it's kind of like a little bit out of your comfort zone, because you're not like used to believing in stuff as such. You're not like used to believing in, you know, the orbs and the unicorns and the aliens and the fairies and stuff like that. So it seems a little more like out of your reach, or like a little more like out of your comfort zone. But honestly, what I see happening here is like there's a courage factor to believing in the magical, or believing in the impossible. There it is, ding. Believing in the impossible, that is like the magic of you. And I feel like moment to moment is giving you that essence, or giving you that ability to believe in the magic moment to moment. So I feel like this is an overall process of stepping into the higher level of awareness of moment to moment. You are magical, you are divine, you are this flowering thing, and so is everybody else. And once you embody and understand that, that's when that rebirth process will really kick in, and really, really, like, not really kick in because it's already here, but it will kick in your conscious like awareness, and you'll really understand that as that is what's happening. So I feel like you are dealing with a lot of fear right now. You're dealing with a lot of fear when it comes to conditioning. So judgment from friends, family, foe, especially work colleagues and work people that you work with. You're definitely experiencing some kind of like backlash or some type of like fear around that. But there is definitely a rebirth process happening, and you have all the tools. Why do I say that? Because the camel is right beneath the feet of this young girl. So I honestly feel like this young girl who is growing out of this mask, right? Because what we have here is a lion in sheep's clothing, and a lion is no you are this actual beautiful divine thing trying to fit in with the herd, in this herd mentality, which is just not how you're designed. You understand that there's a collective consciousness, and we all are interdependent, and we're all interconnected, but that does not mean that we all submit to each other in a way that seems altruistic, and not altruistic, but a way that is self-sacrificing, in a way that is detrimental to us. So there's this picture that I saw the other day too, that basically said, my boundaries are my ability to love you and me at the same time. So this is all over your reading right now. So what's happening is you are this young person, and you are growing out of this false energy and into this new reality, into this real energy that is you. This is you basically returning back to your natural state and your natural form. It's a very, very, very beautiful energy. So divine. It's so balanced. And it's so funny how in the collective energy, what I was saying earlier, is this beautiful bridge of wholeness. And we have the duality. We can see the duality in her hair, how we have the yin and yang in her hair. So I honestly feel like that is what's happening to you. And what I was saying earlier, that you have all the tools. First of all, you have a camel down here, and the camel to me represents something that can hold sustenance, something that can hold abundance, because they hold so much water in their humps. I think they can hold like 70 pounds of water or something crazy like that. So honestly, that's why I feel like as you walk through this valley of the shadows of death, you should fear no evil, because you have all the tools. Plus, she's like playing music and like just completely stretching out of this old conditioning, this old fear. There's also this stretching out too of this old level of vengeance. There's a level of vengeance here that's happening. There's someone here watching this reading who is really attuned to vengeance, or they think vengeance is what they actually want, and it's not. And I see you stretching out of that, because I feel the beauty of embodying this energy is the fact that you're going to move into this level of awareness that you will only want to love and bless people, especially people that hurt you. And I feel like you'll actually do this in a real way, not people just on Twitter and Instagram like, oh, what's up to all my haters, like not like that. But this is actually like, besides like hating somebody so much because of something that they've done to you or done to your family or something in the past, you'll rather send love to it, because you understand the beauty of what you put into the universe is what you get out of it. And I feel like that is why you're being very critical, or you're being very meticulous about these stone terms. But what was I saying? It's like you're like in this childhood state of this level of learning, like this level of learning, full abundance, full love, full awareness, like loving yourself through all conditions. But you're also learning how to do that with other people. So like, even if somebody's struggling in life, you won't feel so much like I have to save them, but you'll love them enough to say, you know what, in this moment, the best thing I can do for both myself and them is love them through this, even if that's only energetically. Because honestly, look at this imagery. This is like a graduation, a rebirth that is happening. This is becoming this, out of this, all this conditioning that you've experienced in your whole entire life. I feel like this too is your higher self. And I feel like we'll get this message for pretty much all the piles, where your higher self is basically coming in and saying, this is all part of the process. This is all part of the process. And everything that you've experienced thus far in your life has been for a reason. Why, look at that. You are really gaining the courage to step into a new level of existence. It's beautiful how it's showing up in my vision. Is this a hard thing? Yeah, if you think of it as hard, and challenging. But I feel like this is naturally challenging, but I feel like there is some fun and some kink you can get out of this if you're willing to see it as a process, as a game, as something that is fun, as an adventure, something that you're learning, something that you're doing, because not only are you a human being, and a human being so fixated on the linear side of life, but you're a human being that actually has a spiritual depth and a spiritual height to it that is outside of what our minds can continuously try to comprehend at all times. So I feel like that's why you have moment to moment too, is because it's like really just trust the magic moment to moment. You don't have to internalize everything, you don't have to absorb everything, you don't have to attack everything, you don't have to worry so much about all these stones. And I love so much too how this person is walking on this like trail of stones amidst all this magic and flow. It's so beautiful. Like, this is same energy. This is the overall frequency. So you have this flowering with the Queen of Pentacles or the Mother of Pentacles card, and you have the moment to moment. And I feel like this is just representing the journey that it is taking for you to get, oh, that's beautiful. It's like from here's a rebirth, and that new level of existence here with this card, and then becoming this. So it's really, really cool how it's popping up in my awareness. As a side note to group 1, since she's here, what's funny is the Miser or the Four of Pentacles is right under this moment to moment card. And I wanted to show this because it's so funny. There's a energy here too of someone saying, oh, but boundaries and not helping people makes me selfish and stuff like that. And I love how she was under there in reverse, like, nope, we're not doing that. We're not in that level of talk. We're not talking about that. Like, that's so out of your reach. And when I say that's so out of your reach, what I mean by that is it's so like not it's an option for you if that's how you want to view it, but it's not in your, like, I'm trying to find like the English translation for this. It's not in your level of, it's not in your mode of operations. It's not in your level of awareness. Like where you are in your level of awareness, it's not necessarily possible for you to operate out of selfishness. Like the way that you love yourself and the way that you love the world and the way, the compassion and the beauty that you want to give to the world itself, it does not allow for you to be selfish. Do you see what I'm saying? Like it's hard to like put that into words, but it's like the way that you see the world and the fact that you want so much for the world and you're willing to give to the world, it's not allowing you to be selfish. And I feel like there was someone who was literally thinking that thought, and then I said that. I can feel them like, oh, how does she know? It's so funny. It's not me. It's literally just your higher self relaying this message to you. You're not being selfish, and it takes a lot of courage for you to embody this, and for you to embody boundaries and boundless love at the same time, in order for you to love through all conditions. This takes a lot of courage to do, because there are a lot of people who are probably going to think, oh, you're arrogant, and oh, you're this, you're that. There's a lot of people who are trapped in that age-old conditioning of, if you're not sacrificing your time, your energy, and your body to me, that means you don't really love me, you don't care about me. You know, it's just a projection of guilt and shame and a projection of what these people can't do in their own lives. And I feel like you've been on that road before. You know exactly what they're doing, and you know exactly how they feel inside. They feel sad, and they feel alone, and they feel empty, and they feel like people don't see them. They feel invisible and small and not cared for. So you, out of anybody, you know them very well, these type of people who are going to see you this way. And you know what? I'm going to guarantee you that there are people who are going to see you this way. And that's just really another beautiful opportunity for you to step into your wholeness and remind yourself of your divinity, your beauty, and what you can offer for the world. You know what I'm saying? Like the lessons that you can teach and what you can actually give, because you know these people, you know them through and through. Absolutely. So your higher self is basically saying you are stepping into a higher level of existence. There's nothing you can worry about. With the moment-to-moment card, you're right on track. You're right on track. This has nothing to do with you being arrogant or cocky or selfish or anything like that. This is just you tapping into a higher level of radiance and returning to your natural state of radiance, your natural state of abundance, and your natural state of fullness. You are connecting, really, really connecting to the truth of what it means to exist as a spiritual being in abundance on this planet. That is what you're tapping into. That is what this process is for you. That's what this is all about, having that self-confidence and really, really tapping into that solar plexus energy for sure, and like knowing who you are and knowing what you can give and knowing what you can take, and stepping out of this conditioning that tries to force you to be anything other than that. You know what I'm saying? So that is your tarot energy for today. So before I let you go, let's get into your oracle cards and see what messages they have for you as well. So we will actually start with the Work Your Light, just to bring a little more confirmation to this energy here. So your Work Your Light card is basically going to summarize what this process is for you, which is yep, Dark Night of the freaking Soul. Look at that. It's exactly. I do not look at these cards before I pull them. This is what I was saying. This is exactly what I was saying. You are removing all this junk and returning to your natural state of radiance. That's all it is. That's what this process is. This has definitely been quite painful for you. We have conditioning out here. We have the 9 of Swords and the 10 of Swords. This has not been an easy process, but this has been like a chrysalis, like a metamorphosis, you know what I'm saying? And it's super, super important. And it's super, super important that you, Group 1, everybody watching Group 1, it is extremely important that you get to where you are freaking going, because there is something beautiful in this world that you are offering. So I love how Dark Night of Soul came out, just to confirm that the message that we received through the tarot cards from your higher self is correct. You're on the right path. This is all a process, to just allow it to be that process. So some advice from our Whisper of the Oceans card to help soothe you through this dark night of the soul is, we have be insightful and established. This is so beautiful. It's so radiant. It's so bright. So it's just like that same energy coming back around. Be insightful and established. Ground and rebalance your energy. Bring your awareness into the now rather than allowing it to occupy the past or the future. So the best thing that you can do during this episode of Dark Night of the Soul that you're experiencing is be insightful and established. And that is this energy of grounding, rebalancing yourself, and allowing yourself to access the beauty that you have in your now moment presence, besides being so focused on the past or being so focused on the future, that micromanaging energy that we picked up on earlier. That letting that go and giving your higher self a little more space to kind of play and bring more into your life, I feel like you'll experience more everyday joy. So your animal spirit card today, your animal oracle card today, to help with some further confirmation and further advice is, you're never alone with the outer spirit. I love that. I honestly feel like that is your higher self too, like coming through and is literally saying that I'm here with you. We're going through this process together. I feel what you feel. I honor what you're feeling, and I appreciate what you're going through for us. I honestly feel like that is what your higher self is saying. The outer spirit, your higher self is saying, I appreciate what you're experiencing and what you're going through in the physical realm for us. So beautiful coming through with the outer spirit. And then our Moonology card for a little further advice and maybe some time, a little sense of time as to where we will see this energy kind of wrapping up. So let's see. Ooh, we have nothing is yet set in stone with mutable moon. And I honestly feel like the energy that I got immediately was, this is more, there's a situation here where you have to choose what side that you want to be on, or like what perspective you want to honor. I feel like that's exactly why too we had conditioning and the flowering card upright. There was this energy between them that was really, really funny, and I couldn't put my finger on it until I saw this card. So I feel like nothing is yet set in stone because there's a decision that you need to make. You have to decide whether the conditioning is more important to you so that you can relate to people who are in this conditioning and that's where you want to stay, or do you want to go full on flower mode, because flower mode is going to absolutely dramatically change your life. I feel like there is a decision that needs to be made here. Ooh, that is powerful. The more that I tap into that, the more I'm like, yeah, that's it. There's a decision that needs to be made. Like, it almost seems like spirit or your higher self is like wanting your consent to continue to do in your life what you can't do for yourself, or if you want to stay where you are. Because if you listen, what I will say is, what I feel is there are pros to cons to both of these that's what it is. There's timelines, and there are pros and cons to both of these timelines, and regardless of the timeline that you experience, you'll never be alone. However, there are specific timelines, and there's a particular timeline that you're being asked to choose which way do you want to go. Do you want to continue playing into the conditioning, which can feel safe and can feel comfortable, and you'll be more likely to I feel like you'll be more likely to have like more connections, or like friends and stuff like that, or like you'll be like more inclined to like be of the world and be of whatever is going on, like with mass consciousness, which can feel safe, like the herd mentality. And you're being asked to either step out of herd mentality or find comfort within it. Boom, there it is. I'm so sorry it takes me a while sometimes to get like the translation, but basically the choice that needs to be made is, do you want to step into herd mentality, or do you want to blossom out of herd mentality into a higher level of consciousness? And they're both going to demand something different for you. And the funny thing is, there isn't really a negative timeline here. Like, none of them are negative. Honestly, both of them have pros and cons. I will say that. You know what those pros and cons are. I'm being asked to not speak too much about that, which is interesting that I'm being asked that. They're like, don't speak too much about the pros and cons. That's something that they need to figure out for themselves. So, because that'll basically, so that you can make an unbiased decision. So, yeah, I honestly feel like, ooh, that is so interesting. It is going to take a lot of courage, though, I will say, to step into this flowering mode. And the courage that it's going to take from you, it has to be conscious. It has to be a conscious decision to be courageous, because there's definitely, I definitely feel some like sorrow attached to this, or some type of like perceived like loss, or some type of like perceived like I am losing this because I chose to do this. And that is definitely a fear that I feel present here. It's really, really interesting. And I feel like it doesn't matter what you really choose, you're definitely going to be tapping into another layer of existence, which is really cool. But honestly, I feel like there's a choice that needs to be made here by you. Like there's a level of consent or allowance that needs to happen here for you. So the law of your higher self wants you to tap into for this reading is, I invoke laughter. I love this card. I love this card so much. That is so funny. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I feel honestly like what this law is saying is not to take life so extra seriously. There's so many there's so many timelines, there's so many options, there's so much variety in the world, and to think that you're separate from that variety in any way is literally a joke. Like to think that you aren't capable of doing anything in life, or consenting to whatever energy, or giving space to whatever energy in your life that you want to give space to think that you are not capable of that is a joke. That's honestly what I'm hearing. So I honestly feel like this card is saying, like, oh yeah, laughter can rebalance your energy. So honestly, I feel like finding joy in the people that you're around, and the things that you're around, and the things that you can do and you know that you already can do, finding joy in those things, and laughing definitely feels like an antidote here for you, because there's a level of this that you do take too seriously, as in, you're micromanaging. You're in that field of pebbles trying to turn over every pebble, and there's millions of them, and you're trying to find the right door or the right thing, and you're also trying to make sure no stone is left unturned so that you never have to come back to this field again. But you're going to spend your entire lifetime in that field if you don't snap out of it. So it's very, very interesting how we have invoked laughter here, so that you don't take yourself too seriously, especially when you're experiencing something like the dark night of soul, where you're literally digging to uncover your natural radiance, which can be very triggering and a very difficult experience. It's nice sometimes to step out of that and just laugh, and remember that you are a human being with needs and wants. You have to eat, you have to drink, you have to shower, you have to sleep, and things like that. And you have to take care of yourself, you have to be social, get out and connect with people you love, and things like that. So I pulled some chakra wisdom cards in order to see what chakras are being cleaned out and revitalized through this process for you, which is really interesting. And you got 3 cards. You're the only group that got 3 cards. So let's go ahead and turn them over and see what they are. So we have, we have the 4th chakra, heart chakra, radiate warmth and sincerity, with I am open to sharing, accepting, communicating, and connecting with others as I focus on this moment, not the past or the future. So that's your second time getting that message, and you have moment to moment. A smile, a kind-hearted way of speaking, or a hug goes a long way towards uplifting others. I offer care and support where I can without rescuing. Boom. I nurture and respect my relationships. So your heart chakra is being worked, and your throat chakra with willpower, determination. I set clear boundaries for my own behavior, and I cultivate a strong will by being true to myself. I use my willpower to accomplish my daily tasks and spiritual goals, and to encourage uplifting thoughts and behaviors in myself. Doing this will assist me on the next stage of my physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual growth. I stay in touch with my positive thoughts and truth by avoiding substance abuse. My will is strong and my mind is clear. I love that. That is beautiful, beautiful energy. So we have your 5th chakra, your 4th chakra, your 5th chakra, and your 3rd chakra, your solar plexus, with personal power. I choose to be myself and to express my truth. I have a positive influence on the people and the situations around me. I allow my integrity and confidence to shine, which instills more confidence and belief in myself and then encourages others to have natural confidence in me. I do not allow my personal power to become egotistical, manipulative, or exploitive. Beautiful. So you have these three beautiful powerhouses. You have 3, 4, and 5. So right there, right in that middle, that ooey gooey center, that radiant center, all being worked on through this process for you. So you have willpower and determination with your fifth chakra. You have the personal power with the solar plexus, and radiate warmth and sincerity with the 4th chakra, which I don't feel like you have any problem doing. It more so feels like you need to radiate that back towards yourself, and radiate that out to the world as well. But mostly, give that to yourself too. This is a beautiful, beautiful reading. This is a beautiful reading, group one. I'm sorry that it was a little lengthy with this, but I feel very like what needed to come across came across. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. So I really, really hope that you enjoyed this reading. As always, if it did not resonate, that is absolutely okay. Take what resonated and everything else will fall away. You're not obligated to hold on to anything that is not yours. You have some beautiful energy going on. You're going through an extremely beautiful process that is happening. It's so, so wonderful, and I'm super, 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 super excited for you and to see the beauty that comes out of your life when this process is all wrapped up for you. So I hope to see you next time, friend, with some of my other readings. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and that's it. Bye-bye. Group 2, Group 2, for everybody who chose the Amethyst Shard, or Ami. I don't know why my mouth was like doing those weird things, but it's okay. Sometimes when I like talk a lot, my teeth are just like, so that happens. But anyway, let's get into your reading today. So we have your oracle cards here, and this is all about a message from your higher self. So we actually have quite a bit of oracle cards to get through a little bit later on in the reading. But for right now, let's go ahead and tap into the base message of your higher self. What does your higher self want you to know right now? What is this process that you're working through? What will be beneficial for you to know as of this time? So sometimes I like to use the candle to charge up and move the energy out of the cards from the other deck. So let's see. Ooh, we have the 8 of Wands, traveling in reverse, flying out. What a beautiful card. Wow. And then we have, past lives. Okay, whoa. I was not expecting that at all. Okay, it's starting to make sense. It's starting to make more sense. Then we have rebirth, the 10 of Swords coming out again. Interesting. All right, I want to pause here for a second and sit with this energy because I feel like I'm already getting a message. And then bottom deck for this round, we already have receptivity. It's beautiful, which is the Queen of Cups in this deck. So we have, okay. Okay. All right, so what is happening here is, it's funny, you are actually traveling, and this might be a little woo-woo for you, group 2, for some of you. But a lot of what you're experiencing in your life right now is because you are traveling back in your own selves and uncovering and releasing past lives. You're healing past life trauma, generational trauma, but also past lives, like lives in which you lived. Because what is happening here is you're receiving messages, gifts, abilities, downloads, all this energy from your past lives by communing with your past lives, your past self. So literally the soul fragment. This soul fragment that is already exists inside of you. This same thing has existed inside other bodies. that were you. So what's present in you now has already been present on this earth many times. And I'm seeing also not only in this earth on this earth, but like in different like galaxies and stuff like that. That's why I'm like, it might be a little woo woo for you. It's not for me. It's like everyday life for me. But like for you, it might be a little like far fetched. But there's a lot that I feel like you're experiencing that's really hard, and you're just like, why is my mind doing these things? Why am I saying this stuff? Why do I have a craving for this? I've never liked this. Why do I want to go here so badly? Like, why do I have such a strong desire to visit this place? Or why is my body feeling this way? Like, why am I attracted to this person or that person? And what's happening is you are uncovering and releasing energy from your past lives. It's like this shedding process that's happening, moving from the Piscean age to the Aquarian age. There's a lot that you learn through this kind of like more hard work, iron, blood, and lust type energy. Dang, I couldn't get that out. That you are like, you're clearing up, you're moving out, you're honoring, you're appreciating, you're releasing. So this is like a very in-depth process for you. Like, especially like metaphysically or like spiritually, this is like a extremely in-depth process. And I honestly see like your spiritual team, you know, like coming down actually like to in like physical form, trying to help you like move through some of this energy. I honestly feel like there's some people in your lives who are like holding a certain level of frequency or a certain frequency of like someone from your past life in order for you all to like work through something together that wasn't complete in the life that you had before. It's very beautiful. So if you are having like certain experiences with certain people, certain cravings or certain things or certain people or certain places or certain things, that is exactly why this is happening, because what you're doing is you're healing past lives so that they can be released, so that the energy of them, their essence that was separate for them, not necessarily separate as in separation, but that was unique, there's a word, unique to them, can be released back into the ethers, and so that energy can be renewed and restored. Because what's happening is spirit is our beautiful energy of the beautiful energy of our humanity paired with the beautiful energy of source. It is our God presence, our beautiful radiant energy, because we are our humanness, our humanity, or our bodies or our flesh play a huge role in how we alchemize and how we work through energy in the physical realm. So our spirit, again, is our humanness, our humanity, our human plan, our human mission, whatever we're doing as a human, our likes, our needs, our wants, our unpleasantries, all of that mixed in with the beauty of the all, divine source. So I feel like that's what's happening, is you just really going through and trusting this process of releasing these past lives. I feel like a lot of this may be a little scary and it may be a little difficult to try and like work through and channel, but you just have to remember, like, this is really a very like innocent process. It's like very like, remember to retain your innocence through this all, because you know that it's not necessarily you. You know that it's not your consciousness. It's a former consciousness, a former part of you that is existing and wanting to be released. It's not necessarily you. Like say you have this weird craving to eat a lemon and you're like, why would I do that? It's illogical, it doesn't make sense, that's stupid, why would I eat a lemon? But like, say in your past life there was something that, you know, maybe in a past life you were poisoned, and you know, maybe the trick to that was to eat a lemon, and if you eat that lemon now, it can help settle or soothe the unrest of that other lifetime that lives within your cells. And when that lifetime settles and it feels ready to be released, it can take all that does not serve you and it can leave behind what does. Basically, that is the energy that's happening here. You're offering a lot of energy a chance to be reborn through you. You know, being released, being let go of, being reborn so that it can be renewed into something new, something unique, and something very special. That's exactly what's happening here. So I love that. And I love how you have receptivity out here, which is basically just reinforcing that is exactly what's happening. You're just like this channel, and you're just like flooding all this energy through you, and you're just renewing it. That is exactly what's happening. That is exactly what's happening. You know, like same energy, you know, like that's what's happening for you. This is very, 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 very beautiful. This is a kind of difficult process because of what I see here is there's like a lot that is spiritually aligned for you that is just like may seem unpleasant for you, or just like, why should I do this? Why do I want to do this? But like, it's just like, it's kind of what the energy is. So I want to leave receptivity out because that feels really good to leave out. But I'm going to get a couple more cards. We have, yep, innocence. Yep, of course. You know, and then we have aloneness in reverse. Yeah, you are definitely not that. And then we have ripeness in reverse as well. It's so interesting. This card wants to be shown to, let's see what it is. We have silence. Oh, we have the star. Yeah, this makes so much sense. Okay, so, in bottom deck, we have the King of Swords with control. So I honestly feel like what is happening here is you're gaining more control over like all this energy that is funneling through you and what's coming through you. Like you're learning how to control it and like maintain your innocence. I honestly feel like you're learning how to set boundaries with a lot of what you're experiencing, in a sense that, you know, sometimes you have to just take a break and be distracted and be comfortable with the fact that you are being distracted from some of it and allowing some of it to just work in the background. I honestly feel like with the silence card, it's coming through so strongly. I honestly should just take it out. It's coming through so strongly that a lot of what's happening, like the chitter chatter of all these like lives, like talking to each other and communing and whatever they're doing, this really doesn't have, which is interesting, it probably contradicts what I said earlier, but it doesn't have a lot to do with you, like you as a consciousness. Like if your name is Sarah and you're watching this reading and you think that all these voices and all this communing has something to do with you, it actually doesn't. It has basically like nothing to do with you besides the fact that you share a soul essence with these past lives, as in you were these people at some point in your life. But honestly, it just seems like it's kind of just like the times. There's something happening for you where it's like you are, it's so funny because somebody said this to me the other day. You're this spiritual giant, like spiritually you're huge, and there's just a lot moving through you. And honestly, these entities or these soul fragments just see it as their chance to just move through you and just go ahead and get out of here. That's what it feels like, honestly. I honestly feel like there's the reason why ripeness is in reverse, or the Nine of Pentacles is in reverse, is because you're still codependent in some area of spirit, or like you're still codependent on some type of like spiritual law or some type of like spiritual understanding, where you're keeping yourself separated from innocence and the beauty of you being you. Like you're keeping yourself separate from this love of rebirth because you want so badly to have like full control over the situation, and you don't. I honestly feel like the best thing that you can do for yourself is honor the fact that you aren't necessarily, you're not experiencing this alone, you're not the only one, so you don't have to other yourself and say, I'm just this special human being that has this power. No, there are plenty, pretty much everybody is dealing with this to some degree, but you're dealing with it in a degree that is, it's very like apparent to you, it's very aware that there's something going on in your body and you don't understand fully what it is. This group of people just like looking at me like crazy, they're just looking at me like staring at my soul, like they're staring right into my eyes, every single one of them. They're just like, we're here, knock knock, it's our turn, we want to be processed so we can go home. Like that's what they're saying, we want to be processed so we can go home. And that's so funny. They just see, like they're coming to you because they want your help. So it's not like, really the thing here is like, this isn't something that you have to do alone, and this isn't like some type of weird spiritual competition or some type of like spiritual Olympics where it's like, I'm a channeler, I'm, you know, this or that. It's like, really, it's about like understanding what is being asked of you through spirit. It's so funny, this is probably my reading because something else someone said to me earlier too. There's this beautiful channel And she has a website called Daily Teachings of the Masters, and her name is Nicole Singer. And I had a channeling with her, and basically this energy is coming right back to me, is basically what she's saying. And she was saying some stuff about being here on God's request and stuff like that, and I feel that exact same thing for group 2. Like, it's the same frequency, it's the same energy, it's the exact same energetic signature. Honestly, it's like you are consciously and unconsciously traveling back in these past lives, and you're freeing all of this old energy that has been, with us for, centuries and generations, like ancestral energy and all that, so that it can be renewed, so that it can be restored, and so that it can like come to this planet in a healthier form, or in its most radiant form. It's very, very beautiful, and I feel like that wants to come through you too, through its most radiant form. So in order for that to happen, you are undergoing this process of honoring what you're experiencing and appreciating what you're experiencing. I feel like every group is going to hear that message of please appreciate what you're experiencing, because what you're experiencing, your higher self cannot experience, because your higher self is not necessarily in your body. Your higher self is in your body, but is not of the body as you are. You are the one who is going to truly feel when something is painful or unpleasant or weird or cringy or something like that. You're the one you're the one who's going to truly feel that. Your higher self is not necessarily going to feel that. So your higher self is really honoring you and literally bowing to you and kissing your feet, because your higher self knows how hard the situation is for you, and how hard some of the things that you've been asked to do have been, because it's just been like out of the ordinary, maybe even out of character for you. And it's been out of character because it is out of character. It's not who you were this lifetime. So I'm sorry if this I don't know why I'm saying sorry. I want to say sorry if this message is too like woo or out there, but it's just really true. I feel like if you are watching group 2, you probably know what I'm saying. Honestly, what really needs to happen is when you're receiving all this energy, please remember your level of innocence in this. This doesn't have a lot to do with you, and I feel like you're getting to a point to where you're going to master the silence, because I feel like this is going to be something that's going to be ongoing. And what you're really learning how to do is to put this stuff in the background, on the back burner, because I feel like you have a tendency to be codependent on all these energies, and you have this tendency to kind of like be codependent on, like, I'm hearing all these whispers and these voices, I must like relay their messages to everybody, and I must, and I feel like if you allow this kind of like run on autopilot in the background and not focus on it so much, and not dedicate so much focus on it, then you'll like step into this level of ripeness. I feel like ripeness is in reverse because you're too afraid to be independent of this energy. You're not alone at all. And even if you step a little further away or create boundaries within this energy, you won't be alone. You won't be sad. You won't be, it's not like it'll take your ability to channel away. Actually, it's the complete opposite. Your channel will be constantly open, and you'll have the ability to allow it to just run through and run its course, besides feeling like you have to submit to every one of these voices that comes through. Because I tell you, if you do that, you're going to be exhausted, you're going to be tired, and you're going to be unhappy, and you're going to be very, very unhappy with Spirit. I can hear like Spirit is like laughing. It's like, it feels so jolly. And Spirit's like, you're going to be unhappy with me if you continuously, consciously try to solve all the problems of your past lives and try to allow them to live through you consciously. That's not what you're being asked to do. You're being asked to master having this beautiful open channel that is constantly open and running, but it can run so much in the background so that whatever needs to run through you will just do its work in the background. That's exactly what silence is. The silence card is a star card, and it's basically coming through and saying, this is what's happening for you. This is what's happening for you. You're learning how to master this level of silence within. And it's not ready to be picked yet, I hear Spirit saying, because there's this rush. I feel like there's a rush. This is definitely my vibe. There's a rush here with the Eight of Wands. That's why the Eight of Wands is in reverse, because there's this rush, there's this urgency, because you feel like if you can get to where you're going, that this will all stop. That's not true. What is happening is you're stopping this so that you can get to where you're going. It's the opposite. It's the exact opposite. You're learning how to master this so that you can get to where you're going, because I feel like you are definitely a spiritual giant. You have a extremely like spiritual destiny, or like an extremely spiritual path in this life, in this lifetime. Like there's some like a healing, some offering that's going to be offered to you and through you to and by humanity. That is crazy how that's coming through my awareness. But it's like this beautiful mutual exchange that you're going to be experiencing with and through humanity, and with and through like this healing that you have, this offering. It's so beautiful. It feels so radiant, so good in my body. I can't even describe how ecstatic, like the level of ecstasy that I feel right now. It feels like it's exactly where you need to be. It's exactly where you need to be. You're offering something, but it's something being offered through you and to you. It's like this weird like little wrap. Like it's all intertwined. It's all so interconnected, interdependent. So that you're mastering this level of silence so that all this energy can work through you. That's so funny because you're super, super receptive. This is what you're doing. You know, this is basically what you're doing. But Spirit just keeps saying, my darling, my sweet, it's not ripe enough to eat. It's not ripe enough yet. You know, and it's like you're trying to like prematurely like pick your berries and eat them, and you're wondering why when you prematurely pick them and eat them they're so sour, or they don't taste the way that you want them to taste. It's so funny. It's so cute. It's so cute. That is so cute. Honestly, you're mastering. It's so beautiful. I'm getting so much clarity and so much healing through these readings today. You're mastering this level of control by releasing a level of control. There's a level of control that you're releasing so that you can exchange it for another. It's really, really cool. It's so funny. Wow, I've never thought about it like that until today. This is crazy. Wow. You're releasing a level of control to step into another level of control. It is really cool. It's so cool. Please remember how innocent you are through this experience, because it is definitely taking its toll on you. But you are like this open channel, like energy is flooding through you all the time, and you're trying so much to like respond to it all and observe it all and give it all your love and affection and attention. And truly, if you silence it all and offer it all innocence and beauty and love, you know, hold that frequency for yourself and the other, it like everything is just so much easier for you. It's so much easier. So that's like really beautiful. And your higher self is like, please stop trying to rush. Do not rush this transition. Do not rush this transition. You're going to get to where you're going. You're fine. Just don't rush this transition. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. It doesn't have to be anything out of the ordinary, as if this is out of the ordinary. But I love how your higher self is like very matter of fact, like very like it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Like your human self is like, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Like this is crazy, but it's like so cool. This is so cool. I love this so much. So basically, you're just undergoing this process of like fully blossoming and opening your channel. The readings are very, very similar so far, with similar cards coming out too. But you're definitely a channeler, if you didn't know, or some type of like spiritual like teacher, healer. Like you can use, like you can work with your hands, like you can touch people and heal them. Your voice is healing. Your energetic field is completely like just shrouded in radiance and love. Like even when people step into your energetic field, it's like there's a healing experience that happens for them. People, places, things, stuff that steps into your field and you step into their field, it's a healing that happens. You just trigger that in people. It's very, very beautiful. And again, like I was saying earlier, this isn't about like a spiritual Olympics where I'm like, oh, I'm a better channeler than this person or that person. It doesn't have to be about the ego in that sense, because the ego is already doing its part. You know, the ego is already doing its part. It doesn't need that level to it, to where you're like, oh, I'm this other, I'm this special, because there are plenty of people who are doing the exact same thing that you're doing, and at some level we're all doing it. It's just you're doing it and like you've been called to do it in its highest form this lifetime. Yeah, you've been called to do it in its highest form this lifetime, so that you can model that for others, and so that there are others that can follow in your footsteps and feel safe to do so. You're creating a safety net, even like raising the bar, raising the standards, really, too. you're kicking it up a notch. You're taking it up a notch so that other people can rise and meet you where you're going. So that can be the new level. That can be the new standard. You know, that can be the new level of operations. So this is cool. This is great. This is great, group 2. It might not feel so great all the time, but, you know, it's great. This is definitely a wishy-washy, turbulent roller coaster ride that you're on, which is just freaking great. But I honestly feel like you are approaching, like, the calm before the storm, or, like, not the calm before the storm, but almost like, I feel like there is some type of storm, but it doesn't feel bad. It feels like more of like a washing away, or like an understanding of something, like a replenishment, like a storm that's gonna like bring water or bring rain or something like that. More like, less like, you know, like destructive. But this is your end. This is where you're reaching. This is where you're going with the Star card, which is really beautiful. It's just this level of calm and serenity and peace that you're going to feel after everything starts to connect and make sense. Once you really, really get to that place, that's why it can't be rushed. Once you really, really get to that place, there's just going to be this permanent embodiment of all of this. And you can truly, 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 truly understand in your mind that you have been and you will be and you are living your purpose. So it's beautiful. This is beautiful. So let's get into the Lightworker Oracle card. So this Oracle card is basically going to summarize the message from your higher self. It's basically going to tell us the process that you are currently undergoing so that you can get to where you're going. So let's see. Yeah, you have the first ray of power. Yeah. Yeah. You know, like totally, absolutely. This is exactly the process that you're undergoing. This is, listen, like I said, like same energy, same energy. You're the spiritual giant. Like I was saying, this is what's happening for you. You're like this earth angel, or like this healer. Like you've come down and you're processing all of this energy through you and bringing it to the material realm. It's really just honoring and holding and remembering what you're actually doing. So this is exactly why you have innocence here, and they're both doing the same thing. They're kind of like holding this energy in their hand. And you know, I love how too, like the above is so beautiful, because I feel like there's truly beauty here if you just look up. You know, there's truly beauty here if you just honor and look at how beautiful and how radiant life is for you and how it's unfolding. You know, like honestly, trust. If there is one thing that I have to tell you here too, outside of everything we've already discussed, is just trust what's happening for you, because it's really, really beautiful. You're returning to this like sense of peace and calm in this world, and there's just a level of magic that you are bringing to the world that is just, it's a new beginning. You know, it's a new beginning. This is basically, you know, the first rare power. This is the magician. This is number one. Like I was saying, raising the bar, reset. You're resetting. So this is cool. You're resetting, and it's cool too how I'm saying you're resetting, and you have all these past lives working through you so that they can be released and stuff like that. That's because you're resetting. That's what you're doing. You literally have the rebirth card here. What am I talking about? You literally have the rebirth card here. You're resetting. So remember your innocence, because innocence is about resetting too. You know, forgiveness too is about resetting. So it's beautiful. So let's see your Whispers of the Ocean card. So this card is basically going to be your advice card. So what energy you can bring into this process for you to help soothe you through it as well. Let's see. Replacing what was lost. You now have the opportunity to rejuvenate and start anew. Create with a new perspective or outlook. This card may also indicate abundance is on the horizon. Boom. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Spirit is like, it's not ripe. It's not ripe yet. So just honor this process that you're going through and understand it as such. And I also love how you have like the ripeness card with all these planets. And for some reason in my awareness, they're showing as something to be harvested, or something like a berry that you can pick off of a tree. So, sorry, I didn't know the focus was bad, but like a berry or something you can pick off of the tree with this card over here. So I love that so much. You have replacing what was lost, and that's exactly what is happening here. Replacing what was lost, like I was saying earlier with the story of, eating the lemon or something like that. Like, this is exactly what's happening for you. So I love how it's just coming through with confirmation. And then our animal oracle card to help you with a little more advice and confirmation, we have Spider Spirit, make your dreams real, number 56. Absolutely. I feel like that's exactly what you're currently doing. I don't feel like I need to explain that at all to you. I feel like you know. And again, we have that berry imagery. This berry imagery, again, like that is coming through for you. I feel like, honestly, you are making your dreams real, and like you don't even know it. You don't even know it. You don't even know it. Everything is happening for you as it should right now. You don't even know it. And then your Moonology card, which will give us some more confirmation, a little message, and maybe even some time frame. So let's see what we got. Look at that, group 2. Oh, you want to know what's crazy? I think there is a full moon in Libra this month. So I did pick these in particular for a little time frame. So it's March. I don't mean to time lock this because this is timeless, but this is a full moon in Libra, and we have a full moon in Libra this month, I believe. I think on like the 23rd or something, so that's really cool. And like I was saying, a win-win outcome is forecast for you. There's nothing you have to worry about, honestly. You're really just releasing one level of control for another level of control. You're a spiritual giant. You're here on God's request. There's nothing you have to really worry about. You're just working through this energy. You're just working through it, really. And just allowing, what's coming through your channel to just kind of like have its way and just do what it's doing. But in the background, like, it doesn't have to, you don't have to submit to what this energy wants you to do. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so there is this song by Wahata called The Solution. And there's a line in it that your higher self, with spirit wants you to know. Spirit says, let me get the I don't ever tell you what to do because you've already made up your mind, and don't pretend to think otherwise. That is it. Because there's this like I think this might have been the group where I said that there's this level of spiritual codependency. Like, there's almost like this level of, with these past lives coming through, you mistake them all for being spirit. They are of spirit. We are all of spirit. We all are spirit. But what you do is you give them the voice of spirit. So if they tell you to do something, especially something that you're uncomfortable with, you question why spirit would want you to do that. You're like, what the heck? So I honestly feel like this is why. And look at that, right under that you have mind in reverse. I love that. So with control, you're learning how to create boundaries with some of this, or not even boundaries. I'm going to replace the word boundaries with filters. You're in the process of understanding how to better filter this energy. Where does the energy just stop and filter through you and it becomes radiance, or what actually needs to move through you in a very physical way? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have to do something in a very physical way. And I feel like you'll know what that is. I feel like there's some stuff you resist, and I feel like if you are resisting something and you know it's not you, I feel like there's a reason why you're resisting it, and I feel like you should check in with your own intuition and your own self before you move forward with something, because you don't want to just do whatever, because these things are trying to move past you or move through your channel, but there are some things that may get a little too comfortable and want to stay, and that's what I'm saying here too, is there's some things that may get too comfortable and want to stay, and that's why you're being, like, silence and control have the same level of energy to me. I honestly don't feel like there's anything you have to worry about, because I feel like there's a solution to be had. Like, there's a solution that you're coming to. But it's just this understanding, like getting that understanding through your awareness and working it through your awareness is what's happening. So the law of Ma'at that you have today is, I remain in balance with my emotions. Exactly. That's exactly what's happening. That's what we've been talking about. So that will definitely help you through this process as well. I remain in balance with my emotions. It makes so much sense, because also with you being the person that you are, like an empath, you're learning too what emotions are yours and what are not yours, what needs to run its course through you and what does not. You know what I mean? Because not everything gets that privilege. Not every spirit or deity that wants to come through you gets the privilege of, being able to have you fulfill its little wishes in this physical realm. You know what I'm saying? So that is what really needs to be understood here with you, for you. This is bringing so much clarity, I feel like. It's so beautiful. And then your chakra wisdom cards, the 2 chakras that we have for you that are being really worked and squeezed and cleansed and revitalized and rejuvenated this round or this process for you is, of course, the crown chakra. We're not we're not surprised to see that. Selflessness. I'm kind to everything I do or say affects others. I will help those who seek it, and I will seek out ways to be of service. I develop an attitude of looking for ways to help others instead of always waiting to be asked. Everything I do from a spiritual perspective, and I put my heart into it. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And also, when it comes to selflessness too, please don't take this as selflessness that is a detriment to your own self. Do not do that. This is not about selflessness that is self-sacrificing or something that is taking so much out of yourself that you can't put back into yourself. You know what I'm saying? This is about what you're doing is you are helping these things. And not these things. Let me not say it like that. I'm so sorry. Helping these energies. You're helping them move through. You're not obligated to do everything that they want you to do. And kindness, again, is not self-sacrificing. Kindness, I feel like I need to say this for you too, group 2. Boundaries are, or filters are, the ability for me to love you and myself at the same time. So please hold that in selflessness, because I feel like there's a lot of you here who have that tendency, which I do too, to say selflessness. That means I have to completely take myself out of the equation, and that is not the truth. So let's turn over your 2nd chakra card and see what other chakra is being worked. Of course, your sixth chakra, your 3rd eye chakra. Of course, this is your 3rd eye and your 7th chakra being worked. Of course, it makes complete sense. I trust my inner knowing, and I am at peace with myself. Yes. I create moments of stillness and silence, and I listen for the truth. Yes. I am open to reconnecting with and listening to my gut and my heart's feelings, and I do not override them with my mind's logic. I practice meditation, prayer, and contemplation. Exactly. I feel like what needs to be said here too is I don't override them with my mind's logic, because immediately when I pulled the selflessness card, I felt myself logically trying to compute what selflessness was, and I felt other people here too present trying to compute what selflessness meant for them. And like, selflessness means I have to give of myself, and without expectation, without anything in return. I have to allow these things to all live through me, and I have to do everything, and I have to do their bidding. And it's like, no, there's an inner knowing here. You will know what needs to be done and what does not need to be done through you. So trust your inner knowing. I honestly feel like that is the balance that you're being asked to find with the law of Ma'at. And that is part of the process, and that's what you're doing. You're understanding and learning how to manage yourself, manage your energy, manage your body, manage your time. You have control here. This is exactly what you're doing. So honestly, I don't feel like there's so much that you have to worry about. This is a win-win situation all the way across the board. Honestly, I honestly feel like everything is going to come into balance for you, and everything is going to become so clear to where you're like, oh, like this makes so much sense. You're going to reach this place of silence and stillness and inner calm that you've never reached before, and you're going to be so happy that you underwent the process that led you to it. So that is all I have for your readings today, group 2. I'm sorry that it was super long, but we had a lot of information coming through. Your higher self loves you, appreciates you so much. They bow to you. I see your spiritual team bowing at the belly, on their knees, bowing to you, because they have so much love for you, and they appreciate so much of what you're doing. You're toiling and you're getting through a lot, and they really love and appreciate you. They couldn't ask you to do any more, and they just couldn't ask for a more beautiful channel. So honestly, I honestly feel like you should sit with that and be proud of yourself, honestly. So that's all we got today. If this reading did not resonate, that is absolutely okay. Take what resonates and allow the rest to fall away. You're not obligated to hold on to anything, group 2, anything that is not yours, okay? You're not obligated to hold on to it. Let it go, let it flow, you know what I mean? So I really hope you enjoyed my vibe and my reading today, and I hope to see you next time, group 2. Bye-bye. Hello, group 3. For all of our friends who chose the selenite heart, this will be your reading or your message from your higher self today. So we're going to push your oracle cards to the side and use some Osho Zen to get the base message from your higher self today. And basically, it's just a basic message, like, what do you need to know right now? What is this process that you're currently undergoing in your life? And what we can do to help soothe you through it. So that's what we'll be getting into today. So let's go ahead. Ooh, the Seven of Swords popping out. Interesting. It didn't pop out, but it showed itself. So that's very interesting. What you got going on, Group 3? What are you trying to change? What are you trying to change? We have we have a slowing down with the Knight of Pentacles. That's funny. And then we have the Magician with Existence. You too are undergoing a rebirthing process. And then we have Totality, the Five of Wands in reverse. Okay. Let's see. There's something coming through already. And we have the Five of Pentacles with the Outsider for bottom deck for this first round. So interesting. This is coming through as slow and steady wins the race for sure. You're slowing down your process you're slowing down your process by trying to speed up your process. Okay, that makes total sense. There's a fear of rejection you have here. It almost feels like you fear you fear being rejected by the universe or spirit itself. There's this energy here of you feeling like because what you feel is happening, okay, you feel something coming toward you. You feel something big happening in your life. You feel a big shift. You feel a huge transition. You feel the newness. You feel the rebirth, and you don't know what it is or how it's happening or where it is. Be more polite with yourself, your higher self. So funny. Be more polite with yourself. You don't know what this is. And your higher self is actually like, be more patient and be more polite with yourself. Okay, so you have some very nasty choice words for yourself and for spirit when you don't get what you want. And it seems like this incredibly like slows down your rebirthing process because you feel so strongly like you deserve what it is that is coming to you now, which you do. Your higher self is like, you do deserve that. You do. But me too. So your higher self is like, this is a process. Like, please understand that this is a process for the both of us and not just one of us. This isn't just you getting what you want in the material, but this is about spiritual growth, and this is about connections to source in a way that is beneficial to all and not just beneficial to you. So this is the understanding that this process has more to do with the all than it does with just you. So that's why it seems like the process seems like it's slowing down, or like it might be speeding up, but it seems like you're like sabotaging, which is funny because we have the Magician out here, but it's like you're sabotaging your own process by constantly berating yourself when you don't get what you want. And when you don't, it's like, it's almost like resetting the energy when you like do that, because it's like, what happens is you are building and building and building, and then you like almost cause this like tower moment for yourself when you don't get what you want, because you're like, oh, I didn't get what I want, and that means that it wasn't meant to be. And your higher self is saying to please trust that what is meant to be is meant to be. It's just part of the process. Like, it's like what is meant to be is part of this process in this journey as much as anything else. Like, you can't like deny that with your spiritual will. That's so funny, the energy, the language that they're using. You can't deny that with your spiritual will. Like, your spiritual will is not stronger than what is actually meant to be. Like, it's not stronger than your destiny. Like, you can't continuously like sabotage all these situations and think that you're going to get out of it what you expect you should be getting out of it. It's really interesting. It's really, really interesting. So I honestly feel like you're undergoing this process of being kinder to yourself and being kinder to the world, and stopping, like, this is funny because this came up with another reading in the Eight of Swords reading, but this is the process that you're undergoing. You're undergoing this process of being honest with yourself and honoring and appreciating your own self. And it's interesting that we have totality out here. It's very, very interesting. And I love how, too, this like connecting that's happening between these two links, and it's like the third link. And I honestly feel like the beauty, I never noticed that light before. That's so beautiful. But I feel like that feels like the missing link. Like it's interesting because I had this message come through me not too long ago, and it was talking about the Holy Trinity, the Mother, the Father, and the Child. And I feel like this is this energy, and I feel like you have the Mother, the Father, and what you're doing is trying to link to the child. And what happens when the child doesn't get what they want is a child throws a tantrum and the child gets really mad. And I honestly feel like Spirit is, I was going to flip that back in reverse, but Spirit was like, no, don't touch it. So I honestly feel like what's happening is, allow your child to have the tantrum, but don't become the tantrum. Like, allow yourself to cry and scream, but when it comes to these situations, embody the Mother and Father. Be the observer. Take more of an observer role besides becoming the tantrum and being like, I hate everything, I hate everybody. It's like you can allow that energy, you can allow that frequency. Spirit can hold you there. Spirit has no problem, no qualms seeing you there. Spirit sees you there all the time, and has seen you there many lifetimes. Spirit just sees you as this perpetual beautiful little baby, but there's this energy here of you like completely tear down yourself over and over again, and you tear down and you tear down and you tear down. You're not like nice to yourself. And it's okay, like Spirit is saying, it's okay to be critical. It's okay to think critically. It's okay to question some of your beliefs, your habits, and your behaviors. But when it comes to this energy of completely destroying yourself, it's not working. It's not working. What Spirit is trying to do is awaken you to a pattern that's happening. There's a pattern that you have a tendency to adhere to because it feels safe to self-destruct and self-destroy. And I'm getting all that from like the message, this energy really, and just this totality card. You have this tendency to completely try and sever the link to Spirit or Source. And Spirit has their hands always out, stretched to connect with you and touch you and hold you and protect you and and guide you and everything. But like when you don't get what you want, like what your ego or your humanity was expecting, you immediately go into vicious attack mode because you're hungry and you're sad and you're cold and you feel neglected. But it seems like most of this neglect is coming through you. It's funny because you have the Five of Pentacles. That's exactly why you feel that way. You have the outside. Oh, and this is the kid. I didn't like put that together until I just looked the second time. Yeah, this is that. This is that. I just keep hearing the word totality. It's like ringing in my like body, honestly. There's like this energy here. How do I describe it? There's like this energy here of you just really, really, really wanting to become whole, like the sum of your parts. And this process is taking time. That's exactly what you're doing. You are in that realm or that element of like really becoming the whole of your parts. And it's what happens when you like completely go into tantrum mode and you start to destroy yourself is you take it out on all of your parts. So like there's this field that you create where it says, I didn't get this because I'm not good enough and I don't know how to do this and I'm too stupid for this. And that's like completely like destroying, the Mother, the Father, and the child. That is what it seems like is happening when you do that. Okay, that makes complete sense. It's like you are like when you are hurting yourself because of something you did out of innocence. It's like you're the abusive, you become the abusive mother, the abusive father. And then like when the mother and father do something that you don't like, you become the child that is really irritated and that's rebellious and that hates and that just breeds all this resentment and guilt and shame and so much hate. When the father doesn't provide for, the family, the mother goes crazy. Or when the mother isn't honest about what she wants and she doesn't say what she needs to receive in order for the father to even do his job, the father is resentful and mad at the mother. So it's like this constant squabble that you're having inside with this inner workings, your inner family. And I honestly feel like this process that you're undergoing is so that you can come into wholeness and get control over that, and you can step into the full embodiment of the all and not just one separate piece. Because what happens is when you step in one separate piece, or just a couple of pieces and not the other, you try to find which one to blame when you don't get what you want, or when things unfold and they don't unfold the way that you thought they would. You blame the other. You're like, we didn't get this because you did this, or you said that to that person, or you didn't do this right, or you didn't tell me what you really wanted. You find some way to blame. That's what's happening here. I'm going to leave the Five of Pentacles out because it wants to be out. Oh, right under the Five of Pentacles is guidance. The Three of Pentacles. That's so funny. That is so funny. Yep. This is definitely, I honestly feel like you are stepping into a higher level of guidance. But in order for you to really hone that in, this is all about you connecting to this energy, this element of totality, the sum of your parts, becoming the whole. Because I honestly feel like it's what you're truly striving for. Even though you feel so much like you want this materially and you want that materially, what you truly want is wholeness. We have the Empress out here with creativity, of course, the Empress stepping out, and then we have the Dream, the Six of Cups in reverse. Yep. And then we have the Nine of Cups in reverse with laziness. That's funny. And then bottom deck, we have the King of Pentacles in reverse. The King of Cups in reverse. Interesting. With healing. Yeah. So I honestly feel like this is definitely an emotional healing process for you. This is a healing process for you all across the board, but it has to do a lot with how you talk to yourself and the possibilities within the world that you allow yourself to explore. I feel like you have a tendency to crunch down and limit what you are experiencing, or what you can experience based on some type of guilt, some type of shame, or some type of ill-placed responsibility, or some weird ill sense of responsibility, or something like that. That's honestly what I'm feeling. I honestly feel like the Empress is showing up because this is the same energy to me. This is the same energy. So what this tortoise is moving towards over here is this is on the other side of that. This abundance, this love, the Empress is on the other side of that. This honoring, this being the great mother. So this is not only being the mother, the father, or the child. This is being the great one who birthed them all. This is being the grandmother, the grandmother. And that is what you're stepping into, regardless of your gender. That is what you're stepping into. So this is why this is such a slow and steady process, because you are basically playing the role as this omnipotent being within your own self. You're playing the role of the observer, of the goddess, and within your own self, which is really interesting. You are playing the role of the goddess. You're playing the role of the goddess within your own self. So they come to you, they pray to you, and when they don't get what they receive, it's like you completely dismantle this. So what is happening is you are embodying fully this energy of being the goddess, so that you can give to your inner world and your dreams, your inner workings, what they actually need. It's really interesting. And I love how we have so much pentacle energy out here, because it makes a lot of sense, because I do feel like there is a focus here on material gain and getting to where you need materially, which there's nothing wrong with that. I do not want you to think there's anything wrong with that, but there's just some inner healing that needs to happen first. So I honestly feel like that's why we have healing out here in reverse, and we also have the outsider, because it feels like you keep yourself away from that healing by not honoring the totality of this process, the full wholeness of this process, and not honoring the family. And what's interesting is, I honestly feel like this is the mother, and this is the father, and this is the child. The child is the dream. And I say that too because you have these two people coming together, and creating like this love. And this is the type of love that I'm literally hearing, like this that's the type of love that only leads to a baby, like it's so funny. So I honestly feel like you're undergoing the process of stepping into another level of existence in order to manifest properly. Yeah, you're learning how to manifest properly. Because not only do you manifest for yourself, you manifest for others too. You manifest for an ecosystem. You manifest for the world. You have some grandmother energy. And I don't mean grandmother as grandma, but you do kind of have that. It's like an ancestral energy. It's like a grandmother energy. You just have that in you. You have that embodied within you. It's yours, it's like part of your energy, your essence. So it's really beautiful. And your higher self is like leading you to like help you realize that. Your dreams are so possible. The dream that you have for yourself is literally the future. You're just envisioning it right now in the present. So it's going to happen, honestly. I feel like this is all just part of the process. Honestly, with the 9 of Cups in reverse over here with laziness, I honestly too feel like we got that sense of urgency earlier, and I honestly feel like that's your higher self coming to you and saying you are not lazy, and like getting that out of your head, because I feel like in you too, your masculinity, or like the masculine essence, we'll just call it that just for lack of a better term, your your provider, okay, let me tell this truth, let me do this thing to further this journey, is almost under attack. It's almost like an abusive relationship, because there's this part of you that just wants to chill and allow everything to just flow with the 9 of Cups, but you have this fear that if you're not always constantly doing something, that means you're not going to get to where you're going, which is a complete lie. So it feels like anytime you feel like you want to just chill and lay back, and you don't want to do anything, you don't want to do any healing, you don't want to read anything spiritual, you don't want to watch any tarot readings or something like that, there's this fear that, oh my God, that means I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm not doing the work, I'm not good enough, and then here comes the attack, here comes the abuse. So I honestly feel like what's happening for you, you're undergoing this process and learning how not to abuse yourself. You're letting go of this abuse, and I feel like this is something that you experienced to some degree in your childhood, if not just outright abuse. It's something that you experience, and it's something that you're perpetuating. You're perpetuating that in your own consciousness, for sure, absolutely for sure. So I feel like the slowing down of this process is just the slowing down so that you can see, like you can recognize this pattern, so that we can stop this pattern, so that you can really actualize and realize your dreams, because the dreams are going to come through your wholeness. They're going to come through your ability, you trusting and knowing your ability, what you're capable of, what you can do, what you can manifest, and the spiritual power that you have in this lifetime. It's magical, honestly. So really, this is really about really in-depth healing. And I feel like that's exactly why we have healing in reverse, because I feel like it's really in-depth. It's really, 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 really deep. Really deep. Really, really deep. It's running very, very deep. And it's this level of healing is touching parts within you that you didn't know existed. That's honestly why we have that in reverse. And you keep keeping yourself outside of the healing because you want so badly, because you think that the healing is this magical material manifestation, and that's not the healing. The healing is not the material manifestation. The material manifestation is just part of where you're going and helping you to get to where you're going. But the real beauty and miracle here is this inner healing, this inner wholeness, this inner stillness and peace that you have never seen before in your entire life. Because you've been so focused on your low self-esteem, and you've been so focused on your depression and your sadness and what you can't do and how the world hates you and all the bad in the world, like you've been so focused on that you can't even see the beauty and the healing that's going on around you inside of you right now. So really the true miracle here is the healing. It's not necessarily the material gain. The material gain is going to come to you whether you like it or not. You know, like the material, like honestly, materially, you don't have anything to worry about as of right now. Truly, 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 deeply, magically, this is just like all happening, and just like this is just so beautiful. Like I'm trying to like get the words, but it's just like this is some inner healing that is deep, and it is touching every crevice of your body, of your life, every aspect of you. It's so, so refreshing and so healing. And really just the material manifestation will just be the outward, you know, expression of that, really. You don't have anything to worry about. You don't have to worry about finding the right answer, finding the wrong answer. Truly, what you need to worry about, or not even worry, but bring your attention to, your awareness to, is the way that you love yourself and the way that you respond to, or react rather, to doubt and disappointment. And you know, we don't get things you want. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel bad about it and be hurt by it. That's okay. But abuse is just a behavior that we're not willing to vibrate anymore, because abuse is not where you're going. Abuse is not going to get you to where you're going. It's part of the process, because you're recognizing a pattern. And because you can recognize this pattern, you can recognize it in others. You can recognize how to better help and heal others through recognizing this pattern, because a lot of us have it. But you are being asked to surmount this pattern and get to the other side of it and heal it from there. Heal it from within. Heal it from within. You're being asked to heal it from within. So that's the process that you're undergoing. It's beautiful. You're healing this inner family because you're becoming the observer. You're becoming more of the observer. And when you become more of the observer, it gives you that power to love everybody and all and everything through all conditions, unconditionally. And that doesn't mean you won't have boundaries, and that doesn't mean you won't have things that are unpleasant. This means that even through your unpleasantries, you can see the position that it took in your life, the role that it played, and you can let it go with ease. This is about letting things go with ease as well. This is about stepping into a life that is of ease. This is about life being easier. This is about your life becoming easier. Once you step into that totality, honor the mother, the father, and the child, and love them through all conditions, life just becomes easier. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful, really, group 3. I honestly feel like you're probably going to be annoyed with me and annoyed by this message. Like, inner healing, inner work, and it's going to be reflected back to me. I'm in the same boat. I totally get you. But it's really, honestly, the truth. Honestly, this is all happening, like, so magically. It's really beautiful. So let's get into the rest of your Oracle cards and see what messages they have for you. So the Lightworker Oracle is basically going to summarize everything that we just spoke of today. Just give that extra oomph, that extra confirmation of the process that you're currently undergoing. So that is... Yep. Absolutely. Let me try to focus it here. Why are you not focusing? Trust in the plan, number 13. Of course, that's exactly what we were talking about. You're becoming that observer. You're becoming this. You're becoming that energy, you know? This is just trusting in the plan, honoring the mother, the father, and the child. Honestly. Trust in the plan. Trust in how this is unfolding. Trust in your totality. Trust in the sum of your parts. Honestly. And then the Whispers of the Ocean card, which is basically going to act as some form of healing, or maybe like an antidote, or advice. There's a word, advice, for this journey or this process that you're undergoing. So that is: in the light of the moon, a full moon can shine light on what you have been resisting. This can be anything from your fears to your soul's beauty. Yep, we do have a full moon this month coming through in Libra. So that is really cool energy. I love that. This same energy too. Same energy, by the way. Trust in the plan. Honor the cycles. I honestly feel like you have been you're under that process of you're in line with the cycles of the moon. So that's why it's kind of more of a slow moving energy, and it's like a day by day, moment by moment healing energy. Plus you have all this water energy here too, which is the moon. You know, she works a lot with that. So Honestly, I feel like that is why you're undergoing this shedding period, and it may seem like it's a very, very long process, but it's like a cleansing, really. It's a cleansing. So let's see, your animal spirit card, just a message from them, so that just a reminder or some advice for you. Scarab. Scarab beetle spirit. Magic works through you. Absolutely. This is exactly. That's why I kept saying the word magic, 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 or magically, and I don't know why I kept wanting to come through and be said so much, but that's why. Magic works through you. Trust in the plan. Magic works through you. You're completely fine. And our Moonology card, and I pulled this card with the essence of let's get some type of confirmation on time, so the moon cycle, or just an extra message from Mama Moon to help set this in stone. So we have, oh my God, a fiery climax approaches with a full moon in Aries. So the full moon, the next full moon we have in Aries is October 20th. So we have that timeline for you. Now, it could happen before October 20th. October 20th literally could mean nothing. I'm just saying I pulled this with the intention of more of a time frame, and the next full moon in Aries is October 20th. So, and then we have our Law of Ma'at card with the Law of Ma'at that your higher self wants you to embody during this process, which is I advance through my own abilities. Yep, absolutely. I don't think I have to say anything more about that. I don't think I have to say anything more about that at all. Trust in the plan. Magic works through you. A fiery climax approaches as you advance through your own abilities. Yep, exactly. That's beautiful. And then our chakra wisdom cards, we'll get into those. These cards are basically the representation of the chakras that are being worked with the most through this process. So we have, fourth chakra, heart chakra, compassion and forgiveness. I have compassion for myself and for those around me. I let go of anger, resentments, and torments from the past. I do not give my power away to those involved. Forgiveness is a gift I give to myself. I forgive myself for things I feel I could have done differently in the past, and I remind myself that my response could not have been any more evolved than it was at the time. I am compassionate to those in need, as this shows them that they are not alone. I practice this by listening, sharing, understanding, and being of service. Yep. I don't need to explain any of that to group 3. I love how you have the heart chakra being worked on, and you also have the heart selenite, which is coming through very strongly in this reading. Be polite and be kind to yourself. Have compassion for yourself. And our last card we have the 7th chakra, crown chakra, with grace. The grace of a higher power is with me, and I move through life knowing this truth. I believe in a higher power, and I know that it is within and around me, offering assistance and guidance. I surrender all of my fears and burdens to a higher power. I am open to receive grace, and I trust in a higher power. I am worthy. If there's any message I'll leave with you as well, it's I am worthy, group 3. This is such a beautiful reading. You have such beautiful energy working through you, working for you, working around you and to you. It's all happening for you, all happening for you. So I'm so excited for you and to see how this all unfolds and plays out in your life. So thank you so much, group 3, for coming to this reading. As always, if it did not resonate, that is okay. Take what did and the rest will absolutely fall away. You're not obligated to hold on to anything that is not yours. If you did enjoy this reading, I hope you come back, and I hope I really see you. I hope I see you next time, friends. Bye-bye. Hello, group 4, for all of our friends who chose the honey cow site for your higher self reading today, or the message from your higher self. So what we're going to be looking at today is the process that you're undergoing, how your higher self is helping you through it, any advice that they have to offer you, just anything that'll help soothe you through the chunk of life that you're currently experiencing. So we're going to push them to the side, and we're going to get our tarot, our Osho Zen Tarot deck, and check out what this process is and what's currently undergoing in your life. The King of Swords in reverse showing himself already. We'll see. We'll do some more shuffling and get our cards out. Let's see. So we have fighting, with the Knight of Swords. Interesting. And then we have the Fool. Let's see. Ooh. And then we have Flowering. Interesting how that's coming back out. Interesting how that's coming back out. Full circle, full circle. Let's see if there's anything else for now. The start of this. Oh my god, that is so funny. This is so full circle. This is so full circle. So we have Moment to Moment that wants to be bottom deck with this first round of the reading, which is so funny because there's another pile that also got both of these cards, the Flowering and the Moment to Moment. So I need to actually dive into this for a second. Your your higher self is saying that there's like a lot of like fighting and toiling to your new beginning that feels really unnecessary. So there's definitely a new beginning happening for you that is actually conspired by you and your higher self and spirit. So there's like a higher level of awareness, but at first, like, they're like, we want to get you to this higher level of awareness first, and then this new beginning, and then the new beginning, because the new beginning will make more sense. Like, that's what they're saying. But there's a lot of fighting with it, like you're resisting it, like you're kicking and screaming for some reason. It seems like you're kicking and screaming because you don't know that you're flowering, because it seems like in the journey that you're undergoing, it seems like you're taking 2 steps forward and 4 steps back. That's kind of like what it feels like. It feels crazy to you how you're like, how can I be undergoing this beautiful healing process if I get here today and I'm back here tomorrow? So it's like honoring that this journey is spiralic. It's literally just spiraling, and that's just like what it does. There's a lot of fighting, like kicking and screaming. Like I literally hear a child, you know how like when a child like doesn't get what they want in the store, or they're like being dragged from a place that they want to stay. That's what it is. They're being dragged from a place where they want to stay, and their parents like, we're not staying anymore, we can't stay here, we have to go home. And you're just, you know, the child's just like kicking and screaming and fighting like that. You're that child. You're that child. Like, you don't realize like the energy that's coming into your life. You don't realize the healing that's happening because there's like this fear that it's not happening at all. Like, that's what's happening. Like, there's this fear that it's not happening at all. So you're fighting with it because you want to like challenge it, and you want to judge it, and you want to constantly be on top of it, because you feel like if you're not constantly on top of it, then it won't play out the way that you want it to play out, basically. Which is really interesting. That's a really interesting energy. So I honestly feel like moment to moment, the moment to moment cards is like representation of like this fighting and this kicking and screaming that can actually be replaced by joy. Like, this is like same energy to me. This is like same energy. Like, they're coming together to meet each other on opposite sides, but it's like on one side you're like kicking and screaming, you know. And I feel like the moment to moment card, you're like kicking and screaming, but you can, like, it doesn't matter like how harsh the situation feels like it is. There's like this beautiful magic and this beautiful energy and this beautiful essence that is happening all around you, and there's always going to be a step. It doesn't matter, even if there seems as if there's a gap, there's going to be a step, and there's going to be a way to get you to the other side. And your higher self is like, I don't understand why you're doing so much kicking and screaming. They're just like, why are you doing so much kicking and screaming? Like, you're fine. You're fine. They're literally like, you're fine. You don't have to, like, you're not fully complete with this journey, and we'll be honest about that, but you're fine. And the funny thing about this is they're saying you don't even want to be complete. Like, deep down inside you don't want to be complete, because they're like, there's like this energy here of you like, oh, if I'm complete, then like, what's my next task? What do I have to heal next? Because it seems like no matter what, like, even when you get to a point where you're like, oh, I'm healing, I'm doing this, and then you're like, okay, and then what's the catch? Like, this is like, you always, like, the fighting card, the Knight of Swords is like, you always trying to like find the catch 22, which is really funny. It is really funny, but it's like if you just take everything like moment by moment and stop stop over analyzing everything and stop like judging yourself so harshly, you'll see that you are blossoming in the most beautiful way, and you're opening up to like a new level of reality. This came through all the readings, and it makes sense because we're communing with your higher self, and your higher self is leading you to a new beginning, but not only a new beginning for you, but a new beginning for our entire collective. That is what's happening. I need some water. I'm so sorry. It's like all the talking. I'm starting to dry out. There might be some fifth chakra energy here trying to come up as well. Some like cleansing or some type of like purging that's happening with this group as well, because my throat was doing pretty all right until I hit this reading, but this is the last one. But it's like getting a little angry. It's starting to kick and scream too. There's something here too about expressing yourself too. When I said that, there's definitely something here about expressing yourself. So we have Innocence in reverse, which is another card that came out earlier, which is really interesting. And then we have Ripeness. Ooh, Ripeness, another card that came out earlier. And we have Past Lives, which is another card that came out earlier. And they're all in different positions. This card wants to be shown too. Let's see what it is. Exhaustion. Exhaustion. Yep. And then we have another card, the Master. Interesting. The card that is unique to this deck, so I'm not surprised to see it out here. This card wants to be shown too. Oh, Patience in reverse with the Seven of Pentacles. But I'll keep hold of that one. So honestly, what is happening here is very like simple. You're getting you're being prepared to like harvest this master energy. You are the master. You are working on a higher level of mastery. You're working on mastery. And it's so funny because it's like you're exhausting yourself by doing all this kicking and screaming. But there are some times when the universe needs to exhaust you so that you get to this element of true desire, where you get to this element of truly honoring what it is that you want. I honestly see that you're working through and releasing all these old past lives, old paradigms, old desires, old habits, old beliefs. All this past energy and gunk is like literally just being revitalized through you. So what I mean when I say revitalize is it's not coming back to stay, but you're releasing it, you're letting go, you're allowing it to come through so that it can be reborn in its highest, most radiant, most beneficial form. And a lot of this process can feel a lot tricky. It can feel very tricky because you don't know what is you and what is not you and stuff like that. And what's actually happening is it's all part of you. It's all part of you. It's all part of your process. So allow it to be a part of your process. I honestly feel like you're exhausting so much of your mental energy and even your spiritual energy because you're so focused on what you can do and what you can't do, and you're kicking, you're screaming because you're fighting these limitations. And it's like you're literally on the road to mastery. You're literally on the road to freedom. And like everything just plays its part to that. Oops, sorry. Everything is just playing its part, and it's like just honoring the part that everything is playing. Honoring the part that everything is playing. You're on this journey, and I feel like the journey that you are on is just the journey of absolute mastery in this lifetime. In this lifetime. That is so funny. That is so funny. Oh, did we show bottom deck? Did we show bottom deck? If not, it's totality. I don't know if I was like shuffling the cards over here, like if I moved them at all, but my awareness was just brought to it, which is another card that came out earlier. So I honestly feel like this journey is like we're all on collectively, and the reason why we're at group 4 and it all makes sense here is because no matter what journey you're on in life, we're all headed to mastery. With this totality card, we're all healing parts of our sum so that we can embody the whole. We're all healing the parts of our sum so that we can embody the whole. So your higher self is like, you're kicking and screaming. Why are you doing so much kicking and screaming? Like if only you knew, like you know, we're changing your diapers, we're feeding you, we're helping you, we're really, really helping you, but you can't see that because you're so focused on your material gain. You're so focused on this harvesting, which this harvesting is here. It's coming. You're literally doing that right now. You're harvesting the wisdom, the lessons, the bringing into your innocence, you're forgiving, you're doing everything. It's like, why can't you see that? But it's because you're so focused on the flowering of the material that's not here yet. That kind of like brings you away. And it's so funny how the actual focus that you have on the material gain is actually powerful too. It's actually helping you too in the best way. It's helping you because it's giving you something to kind of like push towards or push through this toward. It is giving like all this past energy like a reason to come through you. So it's like even finding innocence in that desire that you have, you know, because there's even like some fear of having, you know, the desire that you have. I feel like innocence is in reverse because you don't give it to yourself. You don't allow yourself to be innocent. You're always trying to be guilty for something. You're always trying to find a way to blame yourself for something that didn't happen or did happen. You don't allow yourself to be innocent. And this energy over here is exhausting. This constant fighting and not allowing yourself to be innocent is exhausting. And I honestly feel like once you realize the beauty in just allowing your life to be life, this is when you'll reach that level of mastery and that level of ripeness, because you're not trying to become somebody else. You're not trying to change into Mother Teresa or something else. You're not trying to be anybody who's not you. You're just trying to be you. And you're going to continue to be led back to yourself over and over and over and over again until you reach this level of mastery and understand that I'm the parts of my son. I am my own totality. With all my flaws and my fractures and my beauty and my pain and whatever else that it is inside of me, I am the beauty. I am the mastery. I am the master. I am the master. It's so beautiful. I feel like this is going to be like the shortest reading, because it just makes so much sense. The process that you're undergoing is mastery, and it's the same process that all the other piles are undergoing. It's just that you're just at this level of it right now. You're just at this level of existence. It's like you've already breached that wall of understanding the side of the perception that this is a new identity, as in this is a new dimension, like this is a new level, this is a new me. But I'm not becoming someone who I am not. I am living my life authentically. I'm becoming who I was actually designed to become. I'm becoming the person that was shut down when I was a child. I'm becoming the person that I always wanted to be, that I've always known myself to be, that I always knew that I could be. Always, my whole entire life, I knew that I could be this person. And now I'm living that life authentically. This is that. This is that. That is mastery. Woo! That energy is coming through. It's just like, it's crazy. This is mastery, Group 4. This is mastery for you, honestly. Ooh. So let's actually get into your oracle cards. I honestly don't feel like you need that much. Your higher self is literally like, I don't know why you're kicking and screaming, because you're literally the master, and you're just literally on the road to mastery, and that's all you need to hear from this reading. It's so funny how like matter of fact it is. So let's get into your oracle cards. Your Lightworker Oracle card represent, or just be basically a summarization of the process that you're undergoing. Just to confirm it, and just put more words to it. There was something else I was going to say, but I completely forgot. So your Lightworker Oracle card is Master Hilarion and Archangel Raphael. Exactly. So this is basically you stepping into your mastery, and your spiritual team just opening that gate for you, just like your master. You're stepping into your mastery, and we don't know why you're kicking and screaming, because this is literally where you're being led to. Like, you're not. It's so funny. This flowering card and this energy and all this past life that you're healing is the same energy. It's really the same energy, really. It's happening. Trust in it. Trust in the plan. You're a master, and you're just on the road to mastery. That's what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. So I love that so much, with the Lightworker Oracle coming out like that. Just like, yeah. And I love how the first word is master. And then our Whispers of the Ocean card, basically your advice from the ocean is change directions with ease. This is a time for change, shape-shifting, or your soul's evolution. It is a time to reconsider what you are wanting. You may be in for a surprise. Exactly. You're on the road to mastery. More confirmation. And then your Animal Spirit card for today is nothing is wasted, exactly like we were saying. Basically, this entire process, nothing is wasted on this process, no matter what has been pleasant, unpleasant, what you thought, what you haven't thought, what you did, what you didn't do. Divine order. Divine order. That's so beautiful, because the other day I actually saw a turkey vulture flying over, and I was like, oh, I know what that means, and I immediately thought nothing is wasted. So it's funny how it's coming back full circle. And then your Moonology card, which your Moonology card is going to represent like a time frame. It's going to give us more of a timeline, but also like just a message from the moon as well. Now you can take the timeline for what it is or not. That is for you to discern, not me. But let's see what card we have. We have meditate and contemplate with a new moon in Pisces, which is literally this week. The new moon in Pisces is like on the 13th of this week, so that is so funny. And I honestly feel like these two energies are being paired. Reconsider what it is you actually want in life and what it is you actually do, so that you can flow in that right direction. So I feel like with this understanding of mastery and with you owning your mastery, this is you also saying, I own who I want to be authentically. So who am I authentically? That's what that is. And then the law of Ma'at that your higher self wants you to embody for this reading is, I speak with sincerity, which basically means I live my life authentically. I love this card so much. So I speak with sincerity. You speak the truth. You speak what's true to you. You speak your desires. You speak your no. You speak your yes. You speak your wants. You speak your needs. This is being true to yourself, true with the energy, true to who you are and what you are. And then we also have the chakras that are being healed during this process for you. So the chakra wisdom cards we have are sacral chakra, of course, with sensuality. I love how we have the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is all about like personal authenticity, living authentically, joy and abundance. We also have the hummingbird here too to represent joy. So it's all really just a matter of process and time for you. All is in divine order. Group 4, you don't have anything to worry about. I encourage myself to express my sensuality and emotions creatively, using all my faculties, including touch, voice, and actions, and creative abilities, such as art, craft, music, acting, cooking, gardening, and writing. I practice being aware of and enjoying my senses being nourished and stimulated by the natural world, such as by landscapes, people, weather, animals, aromas, and sounds. Exactly. You're tapped in. You're super, super fully aligned with Source. It's all happening. It's all literally happening. Literally happening. You're experiencing the world in a very, very magical way, honestly. And then your last card for this reading, we have meditation and silence with the crown chakra. So your crown and your sacral chakra are being worked on the most as of this time right now for you. I sit still in meditation regularly, as I know there's power in silence. I seek out stillness during some part of every day. In the silence, I am open to receive without asking and without expectation. In the silence, I will hear and see the truth. Rest, tranquility, and peace are rejuvenating to my spirit. Miraculous emotional, mental, and physical healings are available when I am open to receive. Yep. Exactly, Group 4. That's exactly what you needed to hear from this reading. I feel like I don't even have to say anything more. This is you undergoing the process, being led back to yourself, being led back to who you are authentically, what it is that you want to bring into this world, the legacy and the mark that you want to leave behind. This is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy. And I honestly feel like meditation and silence are really, really important for you at this time, because this helps you channel and move through and flow through a lot of energy. So even if you're not sitting lotus pose, meditating, reading, breathing, sitting outside and doing a tarot pull on yourself or something like that, it can be really helpful for you. But I honestly feel like the reason why meditation and contemplation are coming in for you so strongly is because there's a lot that you need to sift through. I feel like within this energy, there's a lot of like misbeliefs or like contradicting beliefs that just kind of have to move out of the way and that have to be released and let go, so that you can get really, really in line with what you want authentically, not what other people want, not what you think you should do, or what you think spirit wants you to do, or who you think spirit wants you to be with, or what spirit wants, what spirit wants, what spirit wants. Spirit is literally directing that mirror and reflecting that right back to you. Who are you? What do you want? Who are you? And what do you want, Group 4? So that is all I'm seeing for your reading today. This is such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful reading. I love you all so, so much. As always, if it did not resonate, that is okay. Take what did and the rest will fall away. You are not obligated to hold on to anything that is not yours. So I really hope you enjoyed this reading. I would love to know what's going on in your life. So go ahead and leave that down in the comments if you feel guided to. But I will see you next time, friends. Bye-bye.